everybody, and welcome to another edition of Fast Break. I'm your host tonight, Bobby Finstalk, joined by the one and only Alex Atiachiska, Neil Cadaro, Miami Clutch, and then a new addition, special guest, Rob Parks. Rob, how you doing, brother?
I'm great, living the dream, man. I'm kind of upset the Heat lost, man, but
yeah, it's a sour taste in our mouths right now.
Talent disparity was on display. So
That's right. That's right. Oh man, we're gonna get into that. Yes, Miami Heat Game 5 was last night. Heat down 3-1. They gave a little bit of a hint that they might be able to do it, and then of course just collapsed. We're gonna touch on all that, Jimmy. But as you can hear, my youngest is very upset. She's still crying since last night.
Give that baby a hug,
dude. No, I'm not gonna like Tristan. Man. Tristan was so damn disappointed. My 6-year-old. Yeah. As soon as the seconds were like, Tristan got so excited. He goes, "Dad, we're gonna pull this off!" And I almost cussed him. I was like, "Shut the fuck up!" I didn't say. I was like, "Dude, shh, you're gonna jinx it. You're gonna jinx it. Just chill." And he's kind of like, and then
it's your fault, Tristan.
I said it's over. Like when you see Kyle Lowry shake his hand, he puts his hand out. I was like, "It's over." And all of a sudden, Tristan just starts going. And like my son, he gets water. I'm like, hey, I finally put my arm on. I was like, "It's all right. This happens, dude. We've been through this. This is good." But let me go ahead. I'm going to start with our first timer here, Rob.
Get out of here, Alex.
There it is. Whatever, Alex.
I'm never coming on your show again, Alex.
Ever. I'm never producing your show again, man.
Well, let me just say this very quick. Everyone, you're watching Fast Break on the Finstalk Sports Network. Smash that like and subscribe button. We appreciate you for tuning in. Whether you're watching on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, we're growing. We appreciate you. Let's get the ball rolling. Rob, last night, if you're a Heat fan, we had hope, right? But the rest of the world believed ever since, whether it was against the Bucks, the Knicks, the Celtics, and then the Nuggets, no one gave us a chance, yet the Heat were in the dance. They didn't get it done. They were eliminated. What are your thoughts about last night, man? And then the series in general.
I mean, last night, it was there, then they kind of collapsed at the end. Like I said, it's a talent disparity. The Heat can hang their hats on the job well done, man. They weren't expected to get out the first round, so to beat the Bucks 4-1 and then run through the Knicks, win the next round, they make the finals. Beat the Celtics, they make the finals. I mean, they could be happy about that. Now, this offseason, they got to make some changes, though. Don't lollygag. We're gonna talk about Dame later. Dame is there. Kyrie's a free agent. You saw that tweet about Kyrie. Anything can happen this summer, so. Just brace yourselves, man. I'll just tell the fans, get ready, man. It's going to be a crazy offseason.
We touched on that, Rob. We touched on it in the last show, too, that, even if the Heat won the championship, would changes needed to be made. And even during the regular season, before this great playoff run, the Heat struggled this season. They made it as a play-in team. We knew changes had to be made. Specifically last night, you saw why changes needed to be made. You saw the flaws throughout this series. We're going to touch on that. Clutch, my man, I know you're sad. We're following the Florida Panthers. We're going to see how they do. They're in the same situation, but do they change the story? They were down 3-1 before against Boston. They could pull it out. I do believe in them. I do believe they could do it, but we'll see. But last night, my man, the Nuggets win their first championship. Did the Heat lose last night, or was it the Nuggets just were just too damn good?
I mean, I think it was before the playoffs. No, actually, it was before the Eastern Conference Finals started. I think it was you or it was Alex who asked me, like, what team do you worry about the most when it was between the Celtics, the Nuggets, and the Lakers? And I didn't say anything during the finals because I just think that's bad juju, and I don't speak like that during the finals. But before that, I said the Nuggets terrified me because they just have a really, really long track record of doing very good against Miami in general. That's before you even consider the Nikola Jokic is one of the best players in the world, if not the best player in the world right now. It's a sad feeling, man, because you made it there, and after the first game, you were like, damn, they got our number. Then you get a little bit of hope because we won game 2. And then, like, any game after that wasn't really, at the end, wasn't close up until game 5. So It was disappointing, man. I love seeing there was fight at the end. I mean, Jimmy tried to go nuclear one last time for us, and it just didn't work out. And yeah, it's a sad feeling being like so close to it again because we went through this in 2020 in the bubble, and after having that big game from Jimmy in Game 5, and then just getting blown out in Game 6. So it sucks being through this again. After a while, we're gonna change our tone because we were an 8th seed and we made it to the NBA Finals. We got out, and that's something that doesn't happen. It hasn't happened since I think the Knicks in '99. So I mean, right now it's sad, but you got to be grateful for the season we had. If you told me we would be in the finals the day after we lost to the Hawks, I would tell you you're freaking insane. So
that's a great point, Neil. It's so true. Yes, it is disappointing. And yes, we could point the fingers at any of the guys on the roster, and we're going to touch on all those guys. We saw somebody in our chat, Juan, former Goon Squad, he kind of went off on Jimmy last night, and Clutch was like, "You let me know when I can block you." It was pretty great, but
so mad.
Dude, come on, it's true. I'm with you, but let me just say this: nobody, not even Heat fans, thought the Heat could do what they did. I mean, you can't do anything but be grateful for where we were at that moment, Neil. But what is your thoughts after last night, after this finals run, against the Nuggets? Are you left hopeful going into this offseason, or are you just crushing? Oh man, that was it. That was our chance.
I think I'm left hopeful because I think that like you said, you and Klutz touched on. I think last night was hard, not because we lost, because I think all of us knew in the pit of our stomachs, and maybe some of us were more vocal about it than others, but I think all of us knew probably after Game 3 that this was going to end with the Nuggets, celebrating somewhere, like either in Denver or in Miami. But to touch on your point of why I'm more hopeful, it's just because the way that last night went down was like lifting the veil. It was like shining a massive spotlight on all of this team's weaknesses. And this team has to adapt to that now. They got massively exposed. If you look at the hardest part for me last night was just looking at the box score. That Nuggets team didn't even want it. You know what I mean? Like, that was a C effort from them. Jamal Murray, didn't he have like 14 points? Like, I'm pulling it up right now. Jamal Murray had 14 points on 6 of 15 shooting. Aaron Gordon was 1 for 6, 4 points. Michael Porter Jr., 7 of 17 for 16 points. Bruce Brown, 4 of 14. Honestly felt like he played better than that, but 4 of 14, 10 points. They scored 94 points and were able to beat us. And that was in an elimination desperation game, when you would expect us to play our very best. And we just couldn't do it because this team is not constructed to win a championship. It just wasn't,
Let me ask you this. Let me flip this up for you.
Yeah.
Because you say not constructed. What was, when you're watching this game, and Alex, you can follow up, to Neil's answer.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're watching this game and watching this series, what's the one thing that sticks out to you that goes, damn, if we had this, we'd have a better chance?
There needs to be somebody who can get their own shot and can be aggressive when Jimmy can't do it. Because I think we have to understand now that Jimmy, I said it before the series when we had our first show before the finals, that Jimmy Butler was going to be the X factor. If he could do well, we had a chance. But if he was gassed and looking like he did last night every game, we had no chance. And that's exactly what happened to us. When we needed somebody to step up and score and keep it close or end huge runs, it wasn't there because those guys, that's not their game. We have Jimmy, it's his game, But when he's like done, hurt, or just spent, there needed to be somebody else who could do that. Who can dribble, drive, create their own shot, get to the hole, like kind of like what Jamal Murray can do. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, that guy's ridiculous.
That guy.
God.
But that's kind of what it is. It's like we need someone who can dribble, drive, pop up for a shot, hit a step back three. Just timely, great offense, then better offense versus better defense shot maker. And we just don't have that when Jimmy is at the end of the season. You know what I mean? We don't have it. And so that's what was missing, I think.
Got you, brother. Alex, we didn't talk last night. Kind of
on purpose.
Yes, it was purposeful.
So we could talk today.
Yes, that's right. But I would just say for me, and it's the same question for Neil in regards to what you saw that you're like, man, if we had that, we stood a chance. Now we might need more than just that, but let me just say on my point for this team, I was deflated last night, because it is a loss and it sucks. You lose 4-1. You were hopeful because we were at the dance, but I was left encouraged because that's how the Heat are. We talked about it before the playoffs. The Heat is a different team in the playoffs. Okay. When they're in the regular season, they struggle. It happens. Of course, they were the number 1 seed last year, but in the postseason, it's a different basketball team. They show why the Heat culture is a legit thing. But last night, Alex, same question about that I gave to Neil. What did you see, man, when you're watching this game? And I know you're coaching the team as you're watching, like I am. I'm walking in front of my TV like I'm the coach. My wife laughs at me. She walks out of the room because she's like distracted me. I'm like, back up, cover your guy, hand up, do this. I'm trying to, get this guy in. Why the hell is this guy in there? But when you're watching this game and you're going, God dang, dude, if we had like whether it's a shooter or another shooter, a guy who could put it up like Jamal Murray, or damn, we don't have a legit big man. And give props to Bam, man. Last night in that first half specifically, he was showing up. Second half is a different story, but that was around the whole team. But whether it was a big-bodied center who could match up against Joker, whoever could, or a spot-up shooter, what was the biggest missing piece for this Heat team against this Nuggets roster?
Well, yesterday was frustrating for me because we had a game at Miami High, and we went from coaching that game, and I rushed home. And then I was TV coaching from the living room. My son is.
That's what I do. I'm the same way.
And I have so many things to say, but I'm going to keep it simple. And I understand this is going to be the big talk in the offseason, and we're going to talk about later on in the show. But I felt if there was a series that we needed, what we have in our roster this year, if there was a series that we needed Tyler Hero more, it was something like this. Because I'm not talking about the defensive liabilities that people look at, but just the scoring punch. Literally what you just said is people that can take it to the hole, people that can shoot, people that can create their own shots. In our roster, arguably, Bam was more assertive. Bam was more aggressive. Around the rim, there's something going on with his touch. I don't know if it's his release. I don't know if he hurt his hand or something. But he was missing bunnies that typically that is the Bam shot. Now, he was more assertive. He was hitting his jump shot. He was going to the hole, which is
a different type of aggression.
Attack Jovic. Yes.
Yeah. He was showing a different type of aggression that he was showing in the Eastern Conference Final. The only thing was those shots where he was trying to take, they weren't making them, but driving to the basket, playing defense, he was all over the floor. He better finals than he did Eastern Conference.
Oh, absolutely. Basically, I'll look at the positive side from this. It gives you a point where this whole talk that Bam can't be a part of a championship team or Bam can be a number 2 or Bam needs to do this. It kind of puts some points to rest that what we have going on with Jimmy and Bam, it's going to be the continuation next year. Obviously, there's going to be talk about Hero. You're going to try to move Lowry. You're going to try to possibly move Robinson. You extend Vincent and Strus, and we'll talk about that later. But the frustration, I'm going to tell you one thing. The frustration with the series was I wish he would have played Highsmith more. I have a lot of questions about Spo this series in regards to Highsmith.
He went back to I love Spo, and I think obviously I put Pop
Me
there.
too. I love Spo.
Spo's 2, 1A, whatever you want to put. I'm okay with that.
Absolutely.
But he did come back where he was questioning his rotations. Why was Duncan did not get enough more time? When Duncan was in there,
and
points were
struggling.
going in.
Yes.
Kevin Love was another one. When Kevin Love was in there, you saw the difference. But there's some reason why he wasn't in there. So there were times I'm going, and I love Spo, and I'm not trying to, but I was like, dude, what the are you doing, bro?
There was one time, Bob, it was one time. Well, really, obviously, this series was one of my duds, actually, but I'll say it right now. The third quarter. We lost absolutely every third quarter. And if it wasn't for an explosion in the second game, in the second game of the series that we took one, we would have gotten swept. And I understand we were Nuggets are the most consistent team, the best all-around team in the NBA this year, hands down. Not an excuse. The only positive I got from this series, we held the Nuggets to their lowest offensive production, efficiency-wise, in the whole postseason. Which, Neil, what you were saying, it looked like they didn't want it. That was all defense, man. That's all the schemes defensively. And honestly, Michael Porter Jr. had a horrible series. Aaron Gordon, Gordon had maybe 2 games where he was game 1 and game 4, I believe, that he put him over the top. But you basically held Jokic to essentially what you wanted to do, except a few games where he went for that crazy triple-double and Murray too. But we talked about it. I don't care if Jokic would have scored up 40 points as long as you kept his assist downs and you kept his rebounds in the single digits. You couldn't stop him.
There's no stopping him.
You're not going to stop
everybody else.
You're not going to stop. So, obviously, am I proud? Number one, first and foremost, the resiliency of this team. And this opens up, Neil, me and you were talking about it before the show. This opens up a little Pandora's box that stars across the leagues, which already know, but they know Miami is one step away. One step away.
That's why Damian Lillard said it. Lillard said, he goes, look, if they win a championship, I'm not interested in going there, basically.
Of course.
So that opens that door.
He said that.
Hey, sometimes the best thing you do is not winning it all right away. They're still going to be hungry. They're going to come back to retool. The NBA has a lot of parity, so it's going to be competitive. But we've been to 2 finals in the last 4 years. We were in the Eastern Conference last year. We are right there. And that being right there, Bob, Pat, he's not going to go crazy. But he's going to watch what's available. You know that we're not going to go for the first one, so everybody needs to calm down. You're not going to go for the first move. You're going to take a look all around. You're going to enjoy the season. I just can't wait for Pat Riley's press conference. I have been dying to hear Pat Riley's press conference. That's my go-to move this year. I was dying to hear it from the beginning. And Pat, I got to give respect to. Ever since Bo took over, if you notice, Pat takes a step to the side to make sure the team has one voice. And it's Eric Spoelstra. But that end of the season, you always look for Pat Riley's press conference because he's always going to give you a little bit of what he wants to do. So I'm just waiting for that. But, hey, I'm proud of the team. I'm happy. It's unfortunate, but they competed until the end. I do feel we could have made it to 6-7 games. I really do in certain moments. But the better team won, so we got to give respect.
Yeah, I'm not hating on like if the Celtics would have won, I would have been pissed because I can't stand – the Celtics, their fans just piss me off on Twitter, and I have friends who are Celtics, but I was like, dude, like when the Nuggets won, I'm like, you know what? The better team won. They were classy throughout the finals. I was proud. I was like, okay, I'm cool with that. I still hate it for Heat, but whatever. Rob, I was going to say just game 5, but let's do the entire finals because I think game 5 could fit with the entire finals. Who were your top 3? You don't have to do 3 if you can't come up with 3. Please make more noise live on the show, Alex. We appreciate it. Thank you. But top 3, man, studs and duds, man. Who were your top 3 studs and duds for the Miami Heat in these finals?
Top 3 studs, I would say Bam, Duncan Robinson played great, and then the third one, it's hard to pick a third one, man.
It's all right.
I'm putting Jimmy in the dud, man, for the finals.
You have to. I think it's. I hate
Jimmy
that.
Jimmy looked like he was jogging, man. Am I tripping or not?
No,
you're on spot.
It looked like Jimmy was either
too passive.
or he was just super passive. And I've never seen Jimmy play that passive.
We're never gonna know if he was hurt because he's not gonna tell us.
Yeah. He's not gonna say.
He won't tell us. Yeah, he won't tell us.
So, but it was a different Jimmy.
Something personal's going on. He has a family situation that no one really knows about.
Yeah. Skip said something. Skip Bayless said something.
Oh yeah, Skip did say that on Twitter.
But no,
and it's crazy because you do see his demeanor change, Bob. After people talking about the ankle, and he's always going to downplay it no matter what, even though we see it swollen every time. So, but he was getting lift. If you saw the lift he got on his jump shot, he's okay. That ankle.
Yeah, he was okay. But you're absolutely right. I don't think it's. I mean, I think it's unfair, like to totally like, and forgive me, Rob. You're new there, but to shit on Jimmy as much people are because we're there because of Jimmy. He's a major part of why we're there. But something happened between Eastern Conference Finals to the NBA Finals where it was a totally different Jimmy. He was not who he
But
was.
Bob,
You know,
when you saw those 2 3-pointers go, I know the last play, and that was one that drove me crazy. I really thought they were going to go when they were down 1.
Yeah.
No, they were down 2. Or no, they were down 3 actually. At 92-89. I thought they were going to go for the quick drive and he even had the angle. I thought it was going to go for a quick drive, but steal, foul. But when they forced that 3, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But when Jimmy hit those 2 threes, I know people were freaking out. They're like,
oh, dude, it was
go.
right there. It was different thing. So Jimmy
Yeah,
Butler's
going crazy,
one of your duds. You have 2 other duds?
Max Strus, and then Gabe Vincent is on the fringe of dud and stud. I like what Gabe did this offseason, man. So hopefully the Heat bring him back.
That's a good one. No, I think those are fair. Yeah. I think it's fair. I'm with you on the studs in regards of Bam. Bam to me stood out these finals. Duncan Robinson went on the floor. The top 3 studs for me, it's fringe. I'm with you, but it's between 2 guys. One is Kyle Lowry. I think Lowry did a great job. I mean, he brought in some scoring, but he was, in the Eastern Conference Final, he would do some crazy things that just frustrate the hell out of me. The passes, the crazy for you. I'm like, what are you doing? It was a different Kyle in the finals. I mean, he hit clutch shots. And then Kevin Love. Kevin Love is right there with him. I think Kevin Love made a difference when he was on the floor. So those 3 guys. Your duds, you got to give it to Jimmy. I'm sure. Gabe Vincent makes a lot of sense. I would say Caleb Martin. I mean, I know he was sick. I don't know. But there was a different Caleb Martin and it wasn't the Eastern. I mean, if we had that Caleb Martin of the Eastern Conference Finals in the finals, it would have made a huge difference. Clutch,
right.
Your studs and duds, brother. What are your studs and duds, Clutch?
Okay, so Bam is, I don't know, number 1, but he's 1 or 2 because he put up those numbers. He put up really solid numbers for him while guarding Jokic, and that takes a lot of energy out of you when you do something like that. So it's nothing but respect for Bam. Obviously, you want him to clean up the easy shot. I don't want him to score 30 anymore. I don't want him to be that. But I just want, if he makes the easy shots and he plays the defense the way he plays defense, he's going to be a fantastic player for a long time. Duncan Robinson, he was the best offensive player on the Heat for the entire series. And you know what? I'm still he's a lower tier stud, but I'm putting Jimmy Butler on a stud in the lower tier kind of thing, because if you look at the scoring, sure, but, and I talked about this last time we were on the show, he still was there all the time, making the right plays, passing. He was guarding Jamal Murray. He was doing all those things. I can't make him a dud, and I can't think of a better stud right now. So by default, I'll put Jimmy on that spot. And oh god, duds. Here we go.
Keep it clean.
Okay, Max Strus. I need him gone. Like gone. I'm tired.
He'll be gone. They're not going to re-sign Strus. Don't worry.
I'm tired.
Wow, dude. It's true.
I'd rather keep that Duncan contract and eat all that money than keep Brown.
Duncan is playable, bro. Duncan is playable.
Yeah.
It's playable.
Yeah, that guy. And the other guy, Cody Zeller.
You hate on
My man played 4 minutes and he was -4. We lost by 4.
We lost by 5. Yeah. He was
-5.
Yeah.
He was -5.
-5.
No, he was a -5 in like a minute and a half.
In a minute and a half, exactly.
Oh,
in a minute. It was 1 minute.
I love those plus minus because people actually would just be like, oh, we would have played, we would have been tied. But you never know.
I mean, I kind of had that little like gut feeling when I saw Cody Zeller start the 4th quarter. I was like, no. And 5 straight points. I don't know if we had better with Kevin Love, but we lost the lead.
And a timeout.
I feel better with Kevin. I felt better with Kevin Love defending Joker than I felt with Cody Zeller.
I felt better with.
That was just one of those weird decisions from Spoelstra.
Highsmith
I don't.
And I don't know why he never put Kevin Love again.
I just don't understand it. You know.
So I'm gonna
Highsmith.
I'm gonna do a trick. I'm gonna first say to everyone tuning in again, thank you all for watching. You're watching Fast Break on the Fitstock Sports Network. I see your comments. If we miss you, we'll get to you. Anthony Manzano's tuning in. 23423's in there, and I'm gonna actually ask that question. I'm gonna give that to Neil because I think it's a good challenge. Ralphie Boy's in the house. What's up, Ralphie Boy? Everyone tuning in. Like and subscribe. You got Rob Parks, Bobby, Alex, Neil and Clutch, all in the house talking Heat basketball.
You
We're
just say
talking about the
yourself.
finals.
Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby. What?
Bobby Alex.
Bobby, right here. This guy. Don't be a
This
dick.
guy.
This guy. You know, the one who does. But Neil, let me ask you, man.
Yeah.
You're probably looking at the chops. I don't know if you had the same answers about the Heat, but let me ask you about Denver.
Yeah.
Who were your studs and duds for the Denver Nuggets last night?
I mean, I think the studs are
Simple.
are simple, right? I mean, Jokic, who's like all of you have said, he's got to be the best. The guy just doesn't miss. It's insane to watch. I mean, good defense on him doesn't matter. He makes everything. He's got a great game. I wish we had tried to expose him defensively a little bit more, but I don't think we had the personnel for that. But I mean, offensively, he's a beast. Jamal Murray, I mean, that guy, you know, he's great. Great story too, with dealing with all the injuries and then being able to come back and do what he did this entire playoff series. It was awesome. It was cool to watch. That's another stud. For the finals, I would say Aaron Gordon was probably the other stud. Him taking advantage of the mismatches almost every time there was a mismatch on him was just smart, high IQ basketball. And it was confidence in himself. You know, he was a high draft pick, and I think he remembered that in this series. And he used what he is good at in this series, and he didn't do what he's bad at. He was a rebounding monster, which he always has been decent at. You know, he hustled and got loose balls when he needed to, and he just destroyed Gabe Vincent and the smaller guards in the post. Made great choices. So, yeah, those are going to be my studs. My duds, I mean, you know, number one dud is Michael Porter Jr. I mean, that guy, every time he shot a three, I knew it wasn't going in. I was happy every time I saw him shoot a three. So, and because I thought that we'd had a chance to turn some quote unquote defense into offense at that point. So I thought that's got to be a dud there. But damn, I mean, Jeff Green, I guess, you know, because he got exposed defensively, you know, at times, you know, and untimely moments. You know, Jimmy was eating his lunch a few times in a couple of the games. But I'm not going to say DeAndre Jordan, he played 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Really. And, I mean, Christian Braun played great too. You know what I mean? The guy made hustle plays as a rookie. You know what I mean? Like, that dude has a punchable face, but, I mean, he could ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, every time Christian Braun did something, it pissed me off. I don't know why.
There's players that when you watch them celebrate, it really pisses you off. It's like, dude, man, somebody needs to knock it.
I hated it. You know what? I think I can say Reggie Jackson because he had that one game he came in. That was game 2, and he contributed to us beating them. So I'll put Reggie Jackson in that third dud.
So let me.
But I do want to say this I want to answer this to say this really quickly.
Yeah.
As far as a dud for the Heat, I'm going to say Tyler Hero. And I'm really frustrated with Tyler Hero because I know that he had an injury, a hand injury.
Man hasn't played in a month, Neil.
You know, I don't even care. Listen, I don't even care. Okay, because here's the deal: that dude's making too much money to not be like, I need to play. All right, you know what? Like when I was in middle school, I broke my wrist playing soccer of all things, but I was also on the JV basketball team, and I was like, I want to play with a cast.
All right.
And obviously, my coach was like, "No, you can't. Safety hazard."
They let you play with a cast.
No, I want to play. They obviously
they didn't let me play with a cast.
hazard.
Oh, yeah. I was like,
but I lobbied to
But do you
play,
think-
and
but
I
do you
didn't care if I got hurt.
Neil, do you think that was a Tyler Hero decision, or do you think that was a coach?
Listen, I don't think we're ever going to
That's
know, but I'll
coach's
tell you this: as a lawyer, I always use the
both
available
decisions.
evidence I have to prove a point. And the dude that is more interested in how he looks on the bench versus putting in the work, okay, that is the kind of guy that might be like, hey, you know what? I want to chill.
This guy's
I'm
got
hurt.
some goon squad.
No,
And I'm going to
that's
say
not
this,
fair,
okay?
man.
And I'm going to say this.
That's crazy, Neil.
I'm going to leave it at this. I want to leave
Man,
it
if
at
it
this.
was up to Hero, he
What
would
do
have
you,
started
what,
game
an
1.
elimination game,
Would
game
have started
5,
game
you're paying
1,
him all
bro.
that money, and he's not going to play, then why is he there? What is he there for?
He may not be there longer. I don't
Then
know.
that's
We're gonna
what's
touch
got to
on
happen. That's
We're going to
good.
touch on that. Rob, I'm going to ask you that, but before I ask you the following question,
I hate your face.
before I ask you to follow, do you want to respond to Neil about Hero being a dud?
No, that's not. I mean, that's not fair. He didn't even play, man. Since game 1 of the playoffs.
And Rob, let me welcome you. Let me welcome you to this environment. First off, you are free to say what the hell are you talking about, and then let Neil know. Neil's we have gone off on each other before. It's all love here, man. We get a blast. Yeah, you know. If you think he's crazy, tell him, Neil, what the hell are you smoking over there in Texas? What do they got going on over there? But let me ask you this, Rob. You know, the Heat had a great great postseason. They defied expectations. We do say there's whether it's major changes or minor changes to this roster this offseason, we believe there will be some changes. But let's talk about what type of changes could go down for Miami. How could they get better? We have seen today, there's some stories coming out about the Heat's cap situation, you know, that is pretty tricky. But Damian Lillard, superstar, he's acknowledged before they're in the finals that the Heat are one of the teams with Brooklyn that he'd be interested in going to. He's saying Bam specifically is his guy. There's other players obviously in play, but should, in your opinion, for Damian Lillard, we don't know what it's going to cost. We know what type of package maybe, or, you know, we can kind of play around with packages in our mind, but should the Heat, in your opinion, engage with Portland? And what type of package would you put together to get Dame Lillard? And would he be enough to make the difference with a Jimmy and a Bam in a finals type of situation?
If that trade is there, you got to make the trade. That trade package probably going to include Tyler Hero because of all the money he makes. Maybe a Duncan Robinson, maybe Strus, somebody like that, and some picks. And it's not enough. They need a big man too. They need to think about moving Bam to the 4 next year, because we saw how that turned out. Him at the 5. I mean, he can handle his own sometimes, but a lot of times he's overmatched, man. Jokic is too big. I mean, he was overmatched with Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson was having his way with Bam. So, and I love Bam, man, but Bam is not a 5. He's not a starting 5 on a championship team. He's not.
I agree with that.
I mean, even the Kyrie thing, like, I didn't know they made a trade package for for Kyrie.
Yeah, they offered for Kyrie.
I didn't know that. So, I mean, anything can happen with Pat Riley. So, maybe they go for Kyrie and try to sign Kyrie as an unrestricted free agent, or sign and trade with Dallas.
Sign and trade with Dallas. Kyle Lowry, a few picks. Would
y'all want Kyrie or Dame? Who would you want more? Kyrie
Lillard.
Dame.
All day.
But okay, if Dame is not there, Kyrie's there. You got to bring him in, man.
It's hard for me.
Kyrie, I know
it's hard for me, but I get it.
But that dude is a monster, man.
I get it. It's hard
when he's on the court.
When he's available,
unless he stubs his toe or someone pissed him off because somebody to give him something extra change at the jewelry. I don't know.
Bobby, I got a trade package.
What? Yes, sir.
Okay. Hero, Robinson. This one hurts me, but Jovic. The 23 first.
No.
I was waiting for Alex to say it. I looked right at his face.
It hurts. Got to get something Portland will take. The 23
first on picks.
Pick swap and the 24. 26 first. 27 first swap. 28 first and the 29 first swap.
You could do the picks, but if you do all those picks, you don't have to get Jovic.
Then take Jovic out, but do all the picks and Hero and Robinson. Then they can take that. They'll take that. They will take that.
Rob, Alex is one of those guys where that player on Skyforce, the one point guard who's like the 3rd string, Alex is like, that guy's going to be the next Steve Kerr. It's like, dude,
it's all here, bro. Jovic is going to be
and I love Jovic. I'm just saying.
I believe in him.
I'm the one who convinced everybody we should get him.
Jovic
I love Jovic. But,
I believe in him.
I love Jovic. But, Clutch, you've been quiet, man. What are your thoughts so far about possibly going after Damian Lillard, or would you be okay with a Kyrie Irving? God help us.
Okay. I'm not going to say I'm not for Kyrie Irving, because I'm not. But you kind of understand it if they do go in on Kyrie Irving, if they strike out on Damian Lillard. And I hate saying his name because I hate this guy so much. He's played with my heart so much. Bradley Beal. Because ever since before Jimmy even wore a Heat jersey, we've been talking about Bradley Beal. Yeah. And I'm tired. hired.
I hate that he's a Florida Gator because it's like it just makes us all look bad because he's just
like
Um,
I mean, Bradley Beal's been annoying. I
Hey,
know,
you want to
like,
know something about Brad? So
what?
my bad to cut you off. So I actually
No.
cover the Wizards is one of the teams I cover. So I was there for media day, and he basically said he signed that contract because he didn't have any other option. And the money, if you're going to give you all the money, I'm gonna take the money. He knew the Wizards not going to win, so go ahead and waive that no trade clause and come to Miami, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want
If you can't get Dame, get Brad.
That no trade clause gives him leverage no matter what.
I'd rather
Yeah.
get Beal than Irving.
Yeah, he has a no trade clause now, right?
yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Dame does.
Yeah.
It sucks.
The thing about
He made sure to
Damian
get it.
Lillard-
That's the only reason he signed it. He needed that no trade clause. He wanted that no
Mhm.
trade clause.
Go ahead, Clutch.
Bradley, he doesn't want to be in Washington. Like he does not want to be in DC. He took the money.
Hey, Rob, maybe I'm wrong, but Washington is just they're maybe like a year away from a full rebuild. If they don't sign Kuzma or Porzingis, like you're
Well, they
close
just-
there. So
They just said last week they're headed to a full rebuild.
a full
On Twitter,
rebuild,
like
so,
like a pretty legit source. So
so
I mean, I believe it. They got rid of Ted Leonis and they got the new guy and they're starting over from scratch.
Okay.
Damn.
So it might be.
Does
So,
Ted Leonis
Rob-
still own the Capitals or no?
I think he's gone from Monumental Sports. Period.
Also, he just Gotcha. He sold
Yeah.
the
Hey, Rob, you play the piano? I see the piano back there. You play that piano?
No, that's a fake piano. No, my bad. Not Ted Leonis.
No, you're good.
I said the wrong name, Alex. Not Ted Leonis. What's his name? The GM, Tommy Shepard. My bad.
Oh, Tommy Shepard.
Ted Leonis is still the owner. Yeah, my bad.
The owner.
Tommy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Tommy, the
All right.
GM's gone. They got the new guy. What's his name? Michael
Mm-hmm.
something. So they might start trading away everybody.
Oh, for sure.
So
That usually happens.
All right, Clutch, go ahead and finish your thoughts, brother.
The thing I'm worried about Damian Lillard is that he's kind of like West Coast Bradley Beal in terms of loyalty, staying where you are, let me get paid real quick. So I worry about that with Bradley Beal, that this is all just noise and nothing's gonna happen. They're probably gonna trade the 3rd overall pick for, I don't know, Brandon Ingram and call it a day. And that worries me, that then you go down the list of people who might be available. Then you go Bradley Beal. God damn, I hate that guy. And then you go Kyrie Irving, who the Heat indeed did make an offer for Kyrie Irving. And even though some of us don't like it, in the trade deadline, the Heat made an offer for Kyrie Irving. And the Heat, something about Pat Riley, he usually tends to go back to things that didn't work out in the past.
That's true.
And I'm not necessarily for it, but if they do, I get it, because you've done tweaking since the 2020 season, right? You've added like really small pieces. You've found some gems in the undrafted or the two ways, and you still can't get over that hump of a championship. So you've done the little tweaks, you've done the run it back, you've done stuff like that. But at some point, you got to say, we got to make the big splash. We see that we can win. We see that we can make it to the finals without Tyler Hero, making him expendable. You have 4 valuable trade assets on your team right now, which is Tyler Hero and the 3 first-round picks. And I also think the CBA, like, after this year is going to make it really hard to get a star. So this year is the last year to try to go big in that regard, especially with the contracts that Miami has. So I really do expect a big move. If you don't, then that's just doing a disservice to Jimmy and Bam, who's put the team on their back the entire time and gotten them far, but they need that consistent offensive guard on the team.
So great points, and I think Bradley Beal's a good one. And Kyrie, hey, look, we know that let's say if that actually did happen, and Kyrie Irving, I'm not for it, but we know when he's on the court what he is. He's one of the best players. It's just when he's on the court, we don't. He's such a question mark, and maybe that changes in Miami with a Jimmy Butler, who may hold him accountable different than a Kevin Durant.
He's also Jimmy's friend, so I guess
that's what I mean. It might be different.
Yeah,
Jimmy's best friend.
Best friends, yeah.
So
best friend.
So, it might be different. And, that's something you get on because think about it. If he was available in this finals run, even with the deficiencies at center, or not center, when it's deficiencies, that sounds bad against Bam. I'm not saying that, but against the size of Joker and the size of the Nuggets, that's still he's making his shots. He's that other option. If Jimmy's not feeling, you got Kyrie, you got Bam in the first half. So I get it. I'm not for it. I rather there's other guys because it's just he's always a question mark, but I wouldn't hate it because we know what he can do when he's on the court. But let's talk. I know we're talking about including draft picks and trades, but let's pretend the Heat don't trade their 18th pick, and let's talk about possibilities of how Miami can improve.
Oh, hold on. Bob, let me say something. I didn't say nothing with the point. I want to ask something, man.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
You just look at that, man. Just skipping me over, bro.
No one gives a shit. No one wants to hear what you say. No.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. That hurts, Tom. That hurts. No, but quick, before we go, one important situation, because I know we're focusing on these names, but Pat Riley and the Heat, well, like every other team, you're gonna scope the whole panoramic view of who's available, who's gonna declare. I always keep an eye right now, for example, on the Clippers situation. Are they gonna make any moves there? Minnesota has to move Karl Anthony Towns. They're going to go with Edwards and go. You're not going to trade Gobert. You're not going to get anything close to what you traded for Gobert. So there's a lot of teams right now that are going to semi moves. The Embiid situation, I don't think that's still clear in Philadelphia. I know they hired Nurse, and Nurse presented a plan for Embiid, but that might be now or a year away from him requesting a trade, possibly if it all goes haywire. What happens with Harden? That's another situation. James Harden.
I was going to ask about that. Where do we stand on Harden as a panel? James Harden, if he was an option.
Honestly, it'll be intriguing. It's not something that I consider in the forefront because James Harden showed last year he can play as a James Harden point guard where he's averaging low 20s. He can still get you almost a triple-double every night on the floor once he's playing that basketball. Now, does he want to play that style of basketball? We don't know. It all depends on the components, the rest of the team, the balance on that team. Because against the Sixers in the playoffs, they went headwire against the Celtics, and they had that series, but they collapsed in Game 6. So it was a nice 1-2 punch, but his time there really expired in regards to having Tyrese Maxey and all that. But I'm intrigued by Kyrie. I'm intrigued by Dame. You have those situations where Dallas said it's not going to help him out in a sign and trade. But Dallas is going to be a cap team too, so they have limited options. So if push comes to shove, they wanted Lowry a few years ago. I don't know if they want Lowry maybe on an expiring deal. You could do that. You could throw a few picks. You could move Hero. Hero's your most valuable asset with those 3 first-round picks. But there's also scenarios where certain trades that you might not have to move Hero. But for Dame, you're going to move Hero. For Beal, you're going to move Hero. For Kyrie, depending on the situation, what Dallas wants to get and what it's willing to do. If you're going to lose them for nothing, you have to agree for something in return. Maybe a Gabe Vincent sign and trade. Max Strus, I think, is going to walk in that regards. So there's a lot of situations that have to play out with even Bob. No, Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is a free agent. Where is he going to play? Where is he going to fit? Our developmental players. There's a lot of things that are going to happen. The draft obviously will be the number one dominoes because you're going to see which team is in it. Portland right there, obviously, draft night, you're going to know the direction Portland is going. And one thing that is on the positive side with Dame has been loyal to Portland. He has stuck it out for 10 years. He's been through a few rebuilds around him. They've stuck with him. If he's going to get traded to the Eastern Conference, they're going to work with him. I'm not saying they're going to trade him for nothing, but obviously, if any Western team is going to trade for Dame, the package is going to be much bigger than any Eastern team, because at that point, out of respect, you also respect Dame and you want to get him to the situation. You want to get him to the destination that he will be comfortable with in the professional matter. You're not going to sell him for nothing, but the package might be different if it's an Eastern team that he wants to go to. So there's many options, and any domino that falls could trigger any reactions around all those other teams.
And that's been your bicentennial minute. So thank you, Alex.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Rob, we're brothers, so we go off. We grew up together, so that's so you see that. That's what
we've no chance to do. We're fine.
Oh, nice.
I'm not just being a dick to him for no reason. We're brothers. We're good. So, but let me just say this: we're at the 45-minute mark, and but let's close on this. You brought up the Portland Trailblazers. The Pelicans are trying to move up to the top 2-3 spot. They might move up to Charlotte or possibly Portland. Brandon Ingram or Zion Williamson might be traded maybe to Portland. How does that affect the Dame Lillard? But let's stick with the Heat with this for a second. We could always touch on that on the next show. Because Fast Break, of course, we covered the whole NBA. Heat, obviously, the main one because that's our team. But the 18th pick. First off, let me do very quick around the panel. You can give me 1 to 2 answers, okay? Positions, all right? What are your 2 positions that you would like Miami to focus on with that 18th pick? So, Alex, I'll start with you. Just give me the 2 positions, and then Neil, Rob, Clutch, and then we'll follow up. Go ahead, Alex. Top 2 positions.
You know me, man. Best player available, but ideally, you're looking at a tall center, can space the floor if you're gonna want to play with Bam at the 4, or you need a combo guard. But at the end of the day, no matter what, it's always best available talent because you want basketball players. And Spo is a master of using basketball players in multiple positions. So you just want someone that's versatile and best talent available.
All right. Thank you for your 2 positions. Neil?
Power forward, center if a good player is there. Otherwise, best player available. Yeah.
There you go. Rob?
I would say the 5 and the point guard position, maybe the 4 too. But 5 and the 1 is my first 2.
I'm with Rob on that. Clutch?
I'm the only one that's going to say that we shouldn't be looking at a big guard and guard, point guard, shooting guard.
Did you watch the NBA Finals?
Did you watch the rest of the playoffs?
Yeah. That's why I say we need a big.
You can address big free agency trade market.
Well,
you're not going to get a championship ready center or power forward in the draft. You're not.
I mean, that's true. That's true.
But it's not. But that's
not. I think we make a play.
Hold on. But my thing is, when you're looking at an 18th overall pick, unless he's some great player that shows up, you're not looking at a guy who's going to be a championship. You're looking at a depth piece. So yeah, that is a player that I'm going to go. Yeah, let's get a 5. So when Bam comes off the floor, we got somebody big. And there are some players there, and in free agency, you're not going to sign anybody who's going to make a big difference with the money unless you find some tradable piece. Jovic can't play. No.
What? Jovic can play next to Bam? Absolutely, bro.
At the 4, I'm not talking about the 4. I'm talking about the 5. I'm not talking about the 5.
I'm saying, 4. I'm not saying you're thinking about defensive center.
Oh, this is a whole another conversation that I've had with Alex for months and months, that we don't need a 5 to start.
No, we don't.
Our 5 is Bam Adebayo, and I think people just need to get used to that.
We got a
hybrid. I agree with you.
I don't think hybrid. He's not.
I don't think you're wrong.
I don't think he's a power forward. I just need a depth. I think coach, you're doing him a disservice by playing him at power forward offensively.
But he's not a true center. He's not true center. He's a point. He could be a point forward, dude. That's my thing. If you imagine him playing next to a Brook Lopez. I mean, that's not a real option because Lopez got a lot of money. But imagine what the Heat can do at that point. I mean, you saw some of the great things about Bam in these finals, but you also saw the deficiencies against a player like Joker. It's against Joker. I think that if you could find someone that Bam would be a pretty damn good for. Yeah, he's not a 3-point shooter. You need a stretch for it. That could be Jovic,
I agree.
But you need
if you play Bam,
big. He's not a legit big. He's not just a center.
You can play.
He plays multiple positions.
Yeah.
You need a true center.
You can be rotational in regards to me, and I told you this last year, Bob. I want to see if they make a play for Brook Lopez. He might be out of the price range, but when you make a play for someone, Brook Lopez transformed his game completely. He went from being an old school 5 that couldn't shoot from outside of 10 feet, and now he's a stretch 5, but he's still decent defensively. He has his size. So you're looking at that player. If you keep Bam is not a prototypical center. You can get away with Bam at center because how athletic he is, how strong he is. But against Jokic, you're going to be outmatched at times. If you play too small, you might be out rebound. Now, Bam with Jovic is amazing because offensively you have a free flow, and defensively you just got to play zone more. Or Bam is more responsible. People don't realize that Bam is responsible for so much of the defensive actions and the triggers defensively. He covers so much ground. But if you give him you don't want to just plant a prototypical center there, but you do want someone like in the Brook Lopez mode that can stretch the floor offensively, but protect the paint, rebound, things of that sort. So that could come into play. But I do agree. At 18, you're not going to find a Hall of Fame
And you're not
center
looking,
that's
but you're
going to
not
play
looking
2
for
years.
that, unless you
Yeah,
hit it.
exactly.
You're not looking. That's my point. It's not like you're finding anybody no one you unless Karl Anthony Towns or something like that, and whatever. I'm just throwing a name out there, but a player like that, no one's talking about replacing Bam because there's nobody that you could get that could replace Bam. Bam should not be replaced unless you could get a Joel Embiid. Then you're gonna move to the court, But at 18, you should find a player or even buy a second round pick and find a big who could be physical under there, get a foul, and it could give somebody like a Joker a headache. Not where he could go, I could just easily, I'm 7 foot, this guy's 6'9", I could easily just, that's it, 2 points.
I see the Heat trading this first round pick as part of a deal and buying into the second round.
I agree. I'm don't get me wrong.
Well, there are some players that at 18 that could be there that I would take at 18.
Oh, for sure.
I got 3, and I'll say them later.
No, say them now, because we're there. We're at that.
Well, for me, Chris Murray could be interesting there at 18, and I think Chris Murray is going to be there, and I might take Chris Murray there if Derek Lively was there, which I don't think he's going to be. But if he was there
from Duke, yeah.
Yeah, Derek Lively would be perfect. I would
that would be a steal.
I would run to the podium for Derek Lively immediately, and then that French dude Koulibaly, that dude would be sick too if he dropped to 18. But he's got a lot of hype right now. I think Wembanyama's helping raise his stats. So
yeah,
the only other one that is more of a project, but I liked was Clowney. I like him. He would need some work. I don't know if I would take him at 18, though. I'd probably maybe see if I can get him in the second round. But I think Clowney will be there.
I got my 3. I know they talked about Howard's kid. Howard's kid is a potential, but to me, I went guards. I love these 3 since last year. I don't know how to say it's Hood Schifino. Jalen Hood.
Yeah, I like
that.
him.
I love that kid. I love Smith Jr. from Alabama, Nick Smith Jr. and Jordan Arkansas. Sorry. And Jordan Hawkins. Have you seen Jordan Hawkins shoot?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, he's good.
Oh my god, bro! In this,
I didn't look at guard. I don't want to guard. I just.
I think those guys are natural fits for the Heat.
Yeah.
Jordan Hawkins, Nick Smith. One guy that's on there. I put him on here. I did get some players down. I mean, this would be again. Derek Lively is on that list. Another one. The name, but also because of his playmaking ability, his shooting. Grady Dick. I think that's
right.
Funny.
Who wants dick? Don't.
But
I'm telling you, bro, we got chance for days, bro.
But this guy, there's a kid from Serbia, and it's not just because of his name, Alex, but I can't pronounce his first name, but I watched a little bit of him. Tristan Versevic, 6'11", 233, 223, a stretch big who could shoot. I like him. Jordan Walsh, probably get him in the late second round. It's another one.
Oh, but we already got a Serbian kid that can shoot, Bob. Nikola Jovic.
I'm looking for size, brother. I'm looking for size.
I can't wait.
It's 6'11", bro.
Can't wait.
Bro, you're gonna be so happy.
Gain some weight,
He's
brother.
gonna be a rotational player, man. He has, man. He has.
I can't wait. It's amazing.
He makes me want to get rotation.
Hey, Bobby, I actually got to drop off, but I want to say appreciate you guys for having me on.
Thanks for coming on,
What's
man.
up, Rob?
I'll be back.
Welcome anytime,
next
man.
week. Yeah.
All right, we'll see you next week, my man. We'll talk soon.
Yes, sir.
Later, brother.
Bye-bye.
Next week, you got to be playing the piano, though. You got to be playing the piano.
He has to play the piano. But Clutch, if not a 5, I know you said 2 guards, but is there any specific players that you've seen, and I know we're going to talk about the draft, we're going to do the draft show, but I know we've been focused on the Heat playoffs, but is there any specific players, 1 or 2, that you would be interested for Miami to get?
Yeah, with all the playoff craziness, I haven't looked deep into the draft, but I think Alex pretty much said the 2 that I was going to say, which is Jalen Hood-Schifino and Nick Smith Jr. Because I think Nick Smith might be out of range, and he would have to fall. I also think I forgot who said it. I think maybe Greg Sylvander. He said that the Heat were going to work him out. So maybe that's a little tip off of what we're looking to do at that spot if we make the pick. So Yeah, I'd probably go with those two. Chris Murray isn't bad either, by the way.
No, Chris Murray's a good one. There's a guy on here that I took I noted. These guys are I'm studying, but let me see if I could find him. Oliver Marcens Prosper out of Marquette, 6'7". He's a forward. I just disruptive. I mean, it's all Miami Heat. When I read his stuff,
He sounds like a Miami Heat player.
Signifies Miami Heat, dude. When I saw him and I was reading up on him, and I was like, dude, that screams Miami Heat. There's a lot of you could get a decent player at 18, or if you trade down and buy a second round pick, you could get a legit player, and you trust the Heat to find a good guy.
We could get undrafted, exactly.
Oh, there's guys in the and trust me, there's guys that I'm looking at. They're like, oh, we could get this guy undrafted, and he could make some noise. And so,
bro, I'm calling you right now. They're gonna sign Wong. They're gonna sign Wong. Huh?
No, Jordan Miller out of the University of Miami.
I'm telling you,
Wong, right?
They're gonna sign Wong, and they'll sign Miller. Yeah, I love Isaiah Wong. I hope they sign him.
Man, I was thinking of this
because supposedly Isaiah Wong, he might be a late second round pick. I doubt it. I think he's gonna go undrafted, but he's definitely gonna be signed as soon as the draft is over. He's gonna be part of somebody. Honestly, man, I'm waiting for two things right now. Pat Riley presser and the Heat Summer League. I want to see Jamal Cain. I want to see Bouger. I want to see Gilbert.
See, people are not realizing that. I know people are scared. You know, you're losing Strus. You could lose Gabe Vincent. You could lose this guy. I know people are nervous, but then you go, well, you know what's funny is, well, we know that, but they don't. But it's like, there is Kane. There is Highsmith. You know, those guys are coming back. Those guys have a more definitive. Now you're hoping that they're not your main dudes, you know, but as rotational pieces, look what Highsmith did. He made for me, he stood out in these when he was on the floor.
He did.
Dude, his effort was ridiculous.
Highsmith should have played 15 to 20 minutes every game of the finals.
I know. I don't know why. I don't know why he didn't.
He's gonna play.
Clutch, what was it, Clutch? I'm sorry.
Jovic said he was going to play summer league too.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like that's why I'm saying. Like, I get it. I know the trade offer and all that. Like, I love Jovic. I loved what I saw from him before in the pre-draft process. Alex, you know that. Because I was banging the table for him during the draft.
Oh, I know. You called it. You're the one that brought the attention to us.
Yeah. Yep. So, like, I'm excited about to see what he can do because I think he can make some noise. I love the energy he brought when he came on the floor. He didn't make too much noise, obviously, but just his energy. You saw it was infectious. You know, he was smiling. He was excited. I could see him doing what this guy Braun did last night or during these finals. I could see him being that type of guy early in his career before trying to do any more. So,
Neil, you look like Braun after he retires. Right now, you look like Braun.
I'm in Cancun with the Heat, man.
That's right. That's right. I love it. But man, let me. We're gonna talk so much. We got the draft coming up right around the corner, I believe on the 22nd. We're gonna have a special draft show to do that. Everyone.
Oh shit! That's next Thursday.
Oh, yes, it is. Let me get to some of these questions here from Mr. Manzano. I don't want to leave him out.
Go ahead.
But first he says, Bobby, to me, I understand why people are upset, but I felt it was house money this whole playoffs. No one expected us to be there, get this far in the AC. I'm happy with going that we got there. Bam got out strength by Joker. We need to trade for a center like Embiid and move Bam to power forward. Bobby and panel. We did touch on that, so we don't have to keep responding. We know how everyone feels on that. And
Bob, I'll just do one quick thing.
Yeah,
I do make a point for the finals. Lowry and Robinson's value is up. So if you're wanting to move them, this playoff stretch helps you in that regard. That's why even making the playoffs, even if you lose second round Eastern Conference Finals, there's a point in making the playoffs because the whole world is watching. And you always go for it. Oh, you either going to win it or you're going to get better next year.
I love Duncan. I loved what he brought when he came on the floor. He's revitalized his career. I mean, he showed why he's being paid that much money. But he also, because there were players that were like, get rid of him, but you can't. Now people are saying, oh, keep him. We could pay him that much money because look what he did. No, this is the time you do move him. His value's high. Teams watched him. They saw what he can do. Same thing with Lowry. Teams are watching that. They saw what he did when he came on the floor. Now he's 37, 38 years old. How close is he to retiring? Does he have one more year left in him? Does he consider it this offseason? You know, that might be free money. I don't think people are thinking about that, you know. So Miami has the money to make some moves, you know. It's just what type of moves are they willing to do? So we'll see. We'll get closer to it. Next Thursday is the NBA draft. So we got one more show, a fast break. Then we got Thursday NBA draft. We got a live show there to cover that. And we'll just go from there. Any final thoughts, guys? Neil, any final thoughts before we close it out?
No, I mean, I just want to just say what we all, have touched on is what a great run, by the team. I was really happy that, I was telling Alex before the show, like I had some good moments with my son watching them, I swore at 15 months, he said, let's go eat while he was watching the game. They gave us a really memorable finals run. Beating Boston was amazing. Everything else after that was cherry on top. And I'm very excited for the moves that they're going to make. And, just give me a reason to buy a League Pass. That's what I want. Give me a reason to get League Pass again.
I told my son we're going to do it. Because he was like, so who do they play? They play next week? I was like, no, honey, they're done. It's so heartbreaking because it's his first time, Alex, that he's really into it right now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I was hugging him last time. I was like, dude, it's all good. I'm so pissed at Jimmy. I'm so mad at Jimmy Butler. I'm like, dude, it's cool, man. It's all right. He's so mad. He's like, he only got 8 points. I was like, no, he got more than 8 points. He was like, wait, what? So I thought I'd show him, I was like, but
he saw the graphic. And
he did. He said that's what he saw. So then, but I love that he's into it, dude. And he knows, he's like, go for the three. Foul. It's a foul. Why did they foul him? I love doing that. That's a moment that I'll never forget. I wish I was celebrating a championship with him, but that moment there to see, man, my kid is really into this. It reminds me of when I was a kid, so it was really cool. Clutch, any final thoughts, brother?
Yeah, man. I want everybody, like you guys are saying, take a step back and appreciate what we did because it's not common. It hasn't happened in a long time. It probably won't happen for a long time. So appreciate it. Don't be like stupid Celtics fans. Yeah, stupid fucking Celtics fans. I'm sorry. They wanted our downfall more than the Denver Nuggets fans who were actually in the championship game. By the way, all respect to the Denver Nuggets.
Yes.
Because after going through it the Bucks weren't too bad. They were also respectful afterwards, and it's fine. But after going through it with New York, the worst city in the world, and Boston, the worst fans in the freaking world, it was a nice change of pace to have a series where it was based on respect. And I really I had this thing against Jokic after what happened with the incident with Markieff Morris.
Yes.
Last year, yeah.
During this series, and after they won the championship, Jokic went up to every single Heat player, gave him a handshake, gave him a hug.
That's respect.
Before he even started celebrating. So I think that's what a champion is. Jokic has really somehow, some way, he's earned all my respect. I actually like the guy. And if we didn't win it, I'm glad that he got it and Jamal Murray got it and a team like that got it and not like petty and weird teams like Boston, New York, or LA.
Oh gosh, God help us all. And then let me respond. I missed that question in there, Alex. Let me see if I go back in here. 2-3-4-2-3 asked something earlier. I don't want to miss it. Do you guys think, and we'll wrap it up, Alex, so you could close us out. You all think the Clippers can be in the same position as the Denver Nuggets next year if they can remain healthy?
I just don't think they can remain healthy. So no.
Yeah, I don't think they can.
That's the thing. That's the thing. I don't think that nucleus, the way it's built right now, they need more shooting. They need a bit more defense, but it comes down to the same thing. I don't think they're reliable enough to stay healthy a whole year. So I think there's going to be changes, and monetarily has to be changes. So
it has to be. So there you go. So let me again just say before Alex closes this out, appreciate you all tuning in. Smash that like and subscribe button. Vince Talk Sports Network. This is Fast Break. Alex.
Well, see you all next Tuesday. Great season. What Clutch said pretty much did everything. Happy that we're able to make it this far, and we look forward to the offseason. Hasta luego, Miami.
Boston.
All day.
To this day.